Hello, and welcome to today's discussion where we're going to be talking about a very important topic that I harp on time and time again. If you listen to the Leading in Healthcare podcast, it's probably one of the number one things that I talk about because this is the thing that's going to make you more powerful, not only in your professional life, but also in your personal life. And it's getting inside the mindset of a leader and what that entails. Again, pulled some notes out of one of my most popular classes that I want to share with you so that you can get on track with any mindset shifts that you need to make in order to be a leader and not any leader. Remember, here we're trying to be good leaders. We're trying to lead from our power place in all areas of our life because we know from the discussions we've had previously that these things all blend into each other energetically, even if we believe it or not. Before I get started, my name is Yashica Lind. I am the founder and CEO of the Lind Group. My mission is to help leaders like you lead with impact and do it in a way that it doesn't feel stressful, that you feel more balanced, that you are doing it in flow and in ease. My company, the Lind Group, goes into major healthcare organizations all around the world to help them strategize ways to dramatically improve their operations and also to train leaders within those organizations on how to have great leaders. Because we all know that if your organization does not have good leaders, it's not going to be as successful as it could. All right, so today, inside the mindset of a leader. And so I have quick notes here. I wanted to calibrate us. Usually, if I'm having a discussion and I'm teaching you information that is more practical or more scientific, I like to calibrate us around what I mean when I say mindset so that we all know what I'm talking about. So, for the purposes of this discussion, mindset is going to be your established perspective around the things that you sense, around the things that you experience. It is your like your attitudes, your beliefs about something or someone. That is your mindset. And there has been a tremendous study around mindsets, and I forgot her name, Carol. I don't remember her last name. She wrote a whole book about this, but for ease of understanding, your mindset can either be fixed or it can be growth oriented. A lot of people, unfortunately, have been conditioned to have a mindset that is fixed. And fixed mindsets believe that there are certain qualities that cannot change and tend to believe that the reason why this person is better than you or got where they were rather than you getting it or whatever it may have be is because they may be more talented than you, not necessarily because they put in more effort than you or they did things differently than you around using that mindset. This is important because if you discount that you can accomplish things with effort and you think that somebody needs to be inherently talented in order to accomplish something, you're automatically closing the door on a lot of opportunities that you may face. Or because of that fixed mindset, actually, if we wanted to go deep into this subject, you won't even recognize opportunities because the way that the mind works, when it's closed off like that, you don't even notice certain things around you, whereas other people would, such as someone with a growth mindset. And someone with a growth mindset believes that qualities, intelligence, and ability can improve. You can always get smarter. You can always get more intelligent. You can always get more valuable. You can always increase your abilities. That is what growth mindset oriented people believe. And not only can you improve, you can grow. And you do this with effort. You can get smarter, you can be successful, you can have whatever it is that you want. You just may have to, tweak and try and do some trial and error and everything. But growth mindset people are always believing in growth and expansion. And you need to understand why this is important. And you may think, well, I'm growth oriented in my career. But I want you to go a little bit deeper. This is not just about one area of your life. I want you to look at the trend in your life and how do you think about the things that happen to you in your relationships and where you are in life, etc. Because if you believe that you don't have the ability to change those things, your relationships, your finances, your career, your spiritual growth, your connection to yourself, your health, any of those things. Now, I don't care if in one area you think that you can excel and you can grow. You have to be growth mindset oriented in almost all areas of your life. I'm going to say in all areas of your life because any little hint of having a fixed mindset is a limiting belief that's going to hold you back, whether you consciously see it or it's more subconscious. All right, so it's important because, for instance, do you have a fear of failure, or do you have this tendency to hold yourself back from doing or saying things because of what other people may say about you? We talked about this a little bit last week when we talked about how to let people or how to stop people from walking all over you. And this goes back into the mindset that you may have as you approach life and the things that you encounter. For some of you, do you compare yourself to others that actually achieve what you want and you find desirable, but you think that they have something that you don't have? Or maybe for you, you experience setbacks. So maybe at one time you did have a growth mindset and you were curious and you were trying to move forward and try new things, but because of a setback, you decided that that was devastation for you and you just completely stopped or completely gave up on something that was important to you, or worse, you gave up on yourself. I want you to think about how, in areas where you may be more fixed, how that may be impacting your life and impacting your life in a negative way. Whereas if you knew that maybe these challenges and these setbacks are not devastation, or that if you see something in somebody else, what that truly means is you admire that and you have that ability to have that same trait. You just need to develop it. Or if you had a more growth oriented mindset, you would know that challenges don't mean failure. Growth, stretching, all of those things are going to be uncomfortable. And I want you to think about things that maybe you have stuck with, that maybe you had to continue to work with, some sort of thing that you overcame. I bet when you look back, you're either proud of yourself for how strong you were, how smart you were, how committed you were, how convicted you were, and you didn't let any of those challenges get in your way. So, how can you let this impact all areas of your life so that you're actually a much stronger leader? The next thing that I'm about to say, I want you to let this sink in, and I'm going to make sure I look at it because I believe it's super important for you to understand this. What you believe about your life, yourself, your abilities, that is your potential. What you believe about your life. Does it suck? Is it hard? Is it stressful? Is it anxiety inducing? What you believe about yourself. Do you think you're stupid, fat, inarticulate, whatever that may be, whatever you call yourself, the negative things you say to yourself, your abilities. Oh, I'm just regular, oh, this person, and oh, it takes me harder to learn new things, and oh, I'm just not built that way, or my brain is not wired that way. Do you find yourself saying things like this to yourself, saying things like this about your life, saying things like this about your abilities? Guess what? That is your potential. This is now your potential. So your potential is only going to be someone that has a brain that's not wired mathematically, or you're going to be somebody that's unable to articulate yourself clearly, or your life is going to show you instances that it sucks so that you can always have confirmation of what you believe about your life sucking. What you believe about your life, yourself, and your abilities, that is your potential. That's an original quote. Keep it, put it on a sticky note, post it somewhere, especially if you tend to be somebody that's prone to negative self talk. So that's your potential, right? And then this potential impacts who you are as a person and if you will accomplish what you set out to do. Maybe you always feel like you consciously or subconsciously have something to prove, or maybe because of those limits that I said that you put on yourself knowingly or unknowingly, a lot of the things that you're trying, because of these limiting beliefs that you have due to your fixed mindset, you're causing unnecessary exhaustion and anxiety, or feel like you're stuck and like you can't move forward, or maybe like you even self sabotage yourself because you don't have to try, you won't try, you don't have the will to try, you think if you try it won't work, all of the things. You need to understand, by switching your mindset to the mindset of a leader, you would recognize that you're not stuck, you're not a rock, you're not a bump on a log, right? Every moment is the now. And in that moment of now, you have the opportunity to create the energy and the opportunities that you want to experience in the next moment of now, in the next moment of now, right? Because remember, now is the only moment that's real. The future hasn't happened yet. The past is now only memories. This is the only thing that's real. Side note, if you don't understand that and you need a little bit more help wrapping your mind around that, we did a whole, last summer, we did daily live streams around the power of now. Excellent book for you to understand how powerful you are in creating the things that you experience in your life. Okay, so you're not a rock, you're not a bump on a log. At any moment, if you decide to stop acting like you are and actually adopt a more growth mindset, you can grow and you can change. And all you have to do for that is to show up in your life and apply yourself and experience life fully the way it is meant to be experienced. Not saying there's no setbacks or not saying that there's not challenges, but at any time, if something is meant for you or you want something for yourself, you can have it. So I want you to think of a baby, right? If a baby gave up every time they had to even pick up the food to put it in their mouth, think about how many times they miss their mouth before they actually can put the food in their mouth, before they can crawl, before they can stand up, before they can walk, and then even further, before you can ride a bike, tie a shoe, all the things. If you gave up every time that something was hard, think at how limited you would be. So if you can take that perspective that you would teach your child to keep going, to stand up, to take that step, to walk, to balance, whatever it may be, why can't you teach yourself that same type of mentality? And look at how fast they learn and how fast they grow and how fast they make strides because they just keep going and going and going without all the limitations and blocks that we put upon ourselves through our conditioning, our negative experiences, all of the things that we've been through, at this age we are now. So let me just leave you with one thing on how you can adopt a growth mindset. And if you want to learn more about this, again, make sure you check out. There's a podcast episode, the Leading in Healthcare podcast, that I talked more about mindset. So that should help you out. And if there's something specific you want me to address, just DM me or leave me a comment, and then we can go maybe deeper into this subject in another episode. But for now, I'm going to give you two things, because we all know that the first thing that you have to do is stop looking at failures as devastations and look at them as learning opportunities, right? Just like I just mentioned with the metaphor with the little baby. If a baby is trying to walk and they fall down, it's not total devastation, right? It's just a learning experience to keep trying to keep going. Maybe I got to use a little bit more core strength. Maybe I got to hold on to the table until I get this together. It's about tweaking, learning, and adjusting until you get it right. And this number two, from a purely scientific standpoint, you need to understand that you have neuroplasticity. Most of you that are watching these are in healthcare, are in sciences, so you do understand a little bit about our physiology. And I want you to really think about neuroplasticity. You can actually change your brain function and your brain structure by developing the mindset of a growth oriented leader, trying new things, stretching, growing, and looking for opportunities. And you can actually, if you understand it, learn new habits the more that you practice. And so, what this then becomes is not you're not wired a certain way, because nobody's wired a certain way. You could change anything that you want to change with the decision and with the effort and the commitment, right? The will, the commitment. So what it then becomes about is, well, how much are you going to apply of yourself, your effort, your time to the thing that it is that you want to achieve or have in yourself when it comes to the things like yourself, your experiences, your life, in order to change the shape and structure of your brain to support the changes that you would like to accomplish. And that doesn't have to be spiritual, although, you may hear spiritual people talk about this. It can be a purely scientific thing. There's research out there that can tell you exactly, if you want to get into it, Google it and study it. You'll know exactly how long you need to keep up at something in order to start to formulate these changes within your brain to support that. But if you are not even going to try because you're going to have this fixed mindset that this is just the way you are, this is just the way life is, this is just the cards you were dealt, you tried, it didn't work, then you're going to be stuck. So that is our discussion for today. I just wanted to take you inside the mindset of a leader for today's discussion. I would like to hear your thoughts and comments that you have related to today's topic. Remember to spread the word, because as leaders in healthcare, leaders everywhere need to hear this, but just because that's what I'm primarily familiar with, leaders in healthcare need to hear this. And make sure you come back tomorrow for our discussion. If you need to watch any replays, I would watch them over on YouTube, because YouTube seems to be the least glitchy platform. LinkedIn is also pretty good too. And while you wait, if you want more tips and tricks, I send out text messages. If you want to know when I go live, I will text you when I go live, because these live streams aren't always going to be at this time. And so I want you to be able to be here live and participate. So if you have questions that you need my help with, I can help you in real time. And I also have an ebook for you, totally free ebook. It's about the top 5 mistakes that leaders in healthcare make and what you could do about that. So if you want that free ebook, you can text the number, text the word leadership. See, you ain't gotta be perfect. You just gotta show up for yourself and show up for you guys. Text the word leadership to 833-231-4407 to get those reminders, to get additional insights and tips, and to get your free ebook. Again, text the word leadership to 833-231-4407, and I will see you in our next discussion. All right.